In this video, I'm going to talk a little bit about hope. And it's one thing to listen to a message about hope and be like, yeah, okay. And it's like this completely other level to go out and live it. Hope is a hard message because we all know what it's like to lose it. Whether it's that job that you were hoping to get, or that the work environment that you were hoping to work in and it doesn't come through, or it's that person that you're hoping will pay attention to you. And we go through life and it's like, well, maybe this job will be the one that works out for me. Maybe this relationship will finally work out for me. Maybe this time I won't be left out constantly. And we convince ourselves that this is what hope means. And then we act so surprised when it all comes crashing down. It's time that we stop living in death. I'm going to talk a little bit about hope. In Hebrew, hope is, the translation of hope is tikva, and it's a hope or an expectation. And the way that you spell that is tav, kuf, vav, hey. Now, the first letter in tikva is tav, which happens to be the last letter of the Hebrew alphabet, and it means a mark or a sign or a promise. And we know that because in Hebrew there's a word and you pronounce it tav, and it means a mark or a sign or a signature, sort of like when you're filling out a contract. At the bottom you would sign your name as a promise that you're going to fulfill what the contract says. It's the same idea, that sort of mark, that's also a promise. Now, Coof is the next letter, and it's one of the more debated letters, but it's a picture of the back of a person's head. And it has these connotations of being the least or the last or something that follows. And I want to sort of hang on that point because it's something that we sort of don't really understand. Hope follows. Like, it doesn't drag you along like a dog going for a walk. It's not self-perpetuating like an avalanche that just grows and grows out of control and takes everything with it. No, hope follows. And you might be sitting there like, oh yeah, I know that. I know hope follows because sometimes it feels like I'm taking a boulder for a walk. Like I have to drag this heavy weight around with me constantly just to get by. And what I want to say to you is, hope, it shouldn't be a burden. Maybe that's why it's so easy for you to lose, because it's such a weight to you that as soon as your life comes across this rough terrain that you're going through, it's the first thing to go because all it is a weight. But I know that that's not what hope is supposed to be. See, hope is not supposed to be something that drags us down. God gave us hope to lift us up. But it still follows. You still have to take it with you. Now, the next letter, Vav, if you remember from my other videos, is a picture of a nail. And it means to add or to secure. And on its own, it's a word that means and hey is actually what comes from. So the entire picture of tikva comes together, and putting together the pictures from every letter, we get this overarching picture of hope is the promise of what comes after the nail. It's the promise of God taking you from death to resurrection. It's the promise of God going from unattainable to being your personal God, from his presence being in a faraway, secluded temple with limited access to his presence living inside of you. What came after the nail? It's God taking your every flaw, every fault, every mistake, every shortcoming, and putting it on his Son so that you would go from unclean sinner to God's beloved. It's the promise to transform your identity. It's the promise that God walks with you. It's the promise that he'll meet you where you are and change you from the inside out. So my hope isn't in finding the perfect job. It's not in I don't get hope from finding the perfect woman. I'm not going to get hope from trying to find the perfect house or trying to raise the perfect family. It's not in finding the perfect car. I have hope already because I have found a perfect love. And it comes from a perfect God. So if it's real hope you're looking for, you're not going to find it anywhere else. Your job is going to use you, your spouse is going to let you down, your house and your car are going to start to break down, and no child ever thinks that they were raised in a perfect family, especially once they become teenagers. You see, these imperfect things, they can't take the weight of your hope. But truly, no one wants what's better for you, what's best for you, than God. Not even you. See, you might think you know what sort of lifestyle would be best for you to live in, but God knows what sort of lifestyle would be healthiest to live in. And he wants you to live in it so that you can grow in fullness as a person. So all of the hopes that your future holds, where better to put it than in Jesus?